go again. To some people who say it's fun, to us I call art. This is the Sports Box, for the only opinion that matters. I can move my goddamn Don't move it on me! Damn crew, a bunch of monkeys over there. Jeez. The Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, Angry Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger of Tard. Bringing you another great special you'll just love to talk around the water cooler about. Today, the show is sponsored, by the way, by Anthony Cruz, a.k.a. DJ Cruz. For all your event booking DJ needs, call him at 609-513-6395. Today, we are talking about the ending of the Survivor Series. And I think someone down the end there is a little bit hostile, so we're going to get his opinion. Also, we brought a guest onto the show to talk a little bit about that, Anthony Morella. Anthony, welcome back to the show.
Woo!
Nice. Look at that. We did it all here at Sports Bar. Let me get
nice to meet you.
Let me get this on here for you. There you go. Get a little spin. All right, Brian, fire it up. This obviously that match didn't go as expected. So get out the venom. Let's hear it.
Okay, so obviously we all know the ending of Survivor Series where the Fantasy Warfare match, Brock Lesnar taking on Goldberg, lasted about half as long as the introductions did. That I gotta tell you, you know, as a big wrestling fan, I kind of see where they're going with this, but I just think it was just such a waste, Anthony. I'll tell you why I think that. So, Brock Lesnar had not lost a match cleanly since WrestleMania 29 in MetLife Stadium to Triple H.
And you were there. And
I was there for that. To have that, not so much a streak, but that honor go to Bill Goldberg, who was a part-time guy as part-time guys go, had not stepped in the ring in 12 years, and he went in there and manhandled the big name, big guy, the protected guy in Brock Lesnar.
Big guy.
Yeah, I just think that that's extremely short-sighted. I mean, what do you...
I completely agree. I'm not really sure where WWE is going with this. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, privately, that that Goldberg is signed on with them through, I guess, a few more pay-per-views. I'm not really sure. My assumption is that they're going to go through to WrestleMania. They'll put him in the Hall of Fame. He'll lose at WrestleMania. It'll be done with. But the way that the match happened, you take Goldberg, who hasn't wrestled in, like you said, like, what, 12 years? And you kind of just thrust him out there against your biggest star. And you should have saved that moment for a guy that's coming up through NXT, or like Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, or like Samoa Joe, somebody like that. Reserve the right for a superstar coming up, not somebody who just kind of just came back.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that, because it just seems like they're scrapping for people to bring back, and he was a big name before. Why not bring him back? But the guy hasn't wrestled in 12 years, and you're just going to, like Andy said, throw him back in the lineup and get him all fired up so you could just throw him down and that's it.
It was for the fans.
That's I understand.
I have no problem with Goldberg coming back, and again, it was great to see him, brought a lot of nostalgia, and that's all fine. But again, I mean, this isn't to the level of The Undertaker's streak. Which we all disagreed with, that Lesnar was the guy to take that down again, because you could have made someone's career by giving them that moment. And you look at the guy who finally beats Lesnar after roughly 4 years cleanly. You look at a guy like Kevin Owens, who's got your Universal Championship right now. His career would have been made if he were to be the one that beat Brock Lesnar, right? Yeah. And again, I think the initial shock was, I mean, why would they have done that? Because again, everything was going in was Goldberg had a shoulder issue. I don't know how much that played into the match, but, you know, 2 spears and a jackhammer, and that's the end of the beast incarnate.
It's even worse if you ask me. You have a hurt Goldberg coming back, and he just manhandles Brock Lesnar.
So Goldberg greater than Brock Lesnar, greater than The Undertaker, and I just don't follow that flowchart. I just don't see it.
Especially after so many years of WWE trying to put down WCW's brand. You bring a WCW lifer into WWE. And
mix it all up, and then
that was Monday Nitro all over again. It was Goldberg going out for a squash match. Now, where could they go with this? I think, I mean, there better be a long-term plan here, and I think that, you know, we talked about that a little bit, because if you're going to waste this moment just to give Bill Goldberg, you know, a final send-off, I just can't see that being the case. So, again, the rumors are that Goldberg's going to hang around through at least the Royal Rumble, and it probably does lead to WrestleMania. You actually bring up a good point, possibly the Hall of Fame induction, you know, off into the sunset type thing. I just think you could have done it differently, where there's some kind of controversial ending or something that keeps it going without crushing.
A buddy of mine brought up a good point, Mike Consavi. He said you should have brought out, or he said they should have had Sting and Lesnar go at it. But, or I'm sorry, Sting and Goldberg go at it. But it would have been cool if you brought Sting out. Not that Sting's even a part of this anymore. But bring Sting out to interfere in the match and at least have Goldberg win that way.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I just think you had to have. I mean, that was as decisive gets.
Yep.
And the way that they've protected Lesnar through this whole run after WrestleMania 29, to have that. I mean, I just don't think.
I think the plan is for Goldberg to hang around for a little while. I don't think it's a short-term thing. That would be kind of detrimental to WWE. You just bring him out, do that, and then just get rid of Goldberg. So.
Yeah, I just I mean, and we'll touch briefly on some of the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real fast before we move on. Does this culminate in a rubber match at WrestleMania?
I think it has to. Yeah. But I think that there's going to be some things happening in between that. I think you're going to see something happen at the Rumble. I mean, that's the next. Big four pay-per-view. I think it would make sense, and we mentioned this in the preview. I kind of felt that if you were going to do this match, it was better served at a WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're building up to that. Who knows? You add some kind of Hell in the Cell or some kind of thing. You can make that happen.
Yeah.
And
those two in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But so, just a couple highlights of the other matches. I really felt that the ending on the Cruiserweight match was stupid, frankly.
How do you really feel about that, Brian?
It was just, again, Baron. So for those who didn't see that, it wasn't the main event. Baron Corbin went in and basically beat up both Kalisto and Brian Kendrick. So they're talking about building this Cruiserweight division up, maybe putting it on its own show, and they decide that they're going to pump it up by taking a big guy, having him kill squash the two little guys. I don't really know what you're really trying to accomplish there. And even the 5-on-5 main event, the Raw versus SmackDown match could have gone either way. I mean, it wasn't having a huge impact. I guess we'll find out this week on programming, but. As I said, I think that the overlying thing to the whole thing was Goldberg went in and took down the biggest name in the business in 2 minutes flat, and that's just. They better make it work, because if not, that's a huge waste of a huge opportunity to make somebody's career.
Yep. But what was worse, that match or The Miz and Sami Zayn?
Well, The Miz and Sam, I don't think. I mean, that's not going to get a lot of. I mean, I don't understand Sami Zayn's character, and I never will. So it doesn't. It is what it is.
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
So another cleanup of the Survivor Series. Unbelievable here at Sportsbox. We do it all. I want to thank Anthony for coming by, sharing a little knowledge with us. Anthony, thank you as usual.
Tried.
Hey, you'd always do a great job. Brian over there got a little hostile. That's okay. We've calmed down a little bit.
I think this show is about 4 times as long as the match we're talking about.
Yeah, that's good. You've mentioned that a couple times.
Did you hear that match was about 2 minutes long?
I heard.
Brock Lesnar lost to Goldberg?
Half as long as the introductions. I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyway, thank you for watching the Sports Box. We always got good content here. And remember, we're everywhere.
We are everywhere. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Anywhere you want to get your social media through us, you want to get your content, we're going to be there, so make sure you're finding us.
And remember, the show was sponsored today by Anthony Cruz, a.k.a. DJ Cruz. For all your event services, call him at 609-513-6395. Hell of a DJ, hell of a guy.
Absolutely.
And remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. Right here, baby! Woo! Thanks for watching. See ya.
Don't forget to subscribe.